Well, you know, I'm gonna try to come out here, not be quite as try not to be, but I may get a little aggravated on the video and try not to. But I just felt led kind of explain some things. There's all kind of movements out here that make actually no sense. I think we ought to need to start another movement about this sexist, prejudiced bunch of people out here at my fucking doorstep. I now know why my wife gets all this special treatment. Because y'all look at us like we ain't even a couple. Y'all treat us like we're friends. My wife and I have been together 10 fucking years. 10 years. I never said my wife was doing it to get attention, what she does. But it's my point. She wonders why Derek can't find nothing for me and her to have as a whole, because she pays attention to these butthurt people when they do come up to her. She's like my grandmother used to be. And that's all. Let me talk. I'm trying to get this out to the world. I need to expose this problem. I don't know how many will see this video. It's probably happening on every street corner. I'm trying to talk. She don't want me to expose y'all. Y'all got a problem. Why a married couple can't find them anything special, because y'all don't know how to come up to both and say something. Why I wouldn't think the kid's special? What the fuck does fire have to do? Go out there and get butt naked? Just get some kind of attention or something? God dang, I mean, it's like fucking, it's ridiculous. I mean, my wife thinks saying hi to me is going to get me all happy. Or it's going to make a difference if I talk to that person or not. The reason I don't talk a lot of times is because there is this thing. What's around here in Decatur, Tennessee? I don't know about other parts of the world. I don't live in them, but I know what's wrong around here. It's what I heard when I went to high school. It's a little old gossip chain. Well, that's the only fucking people that seem to ever come up to anybody. You know why they won't come up to me? Because I won't put up with it. They know I don't care about hearing about their troubles. I don't care about hearing about their damn problems, because I ain't like that. If they were somebody of any good, yes, everybody has problems. But it's the way you people choose to come up over one or another. There ain't nothing, no person of any color, any race. Well, that's the same thing, but you get what I'm saying. Any religion, the whole 9 yards, nothing anybody can say. Because I'm telling you, that's y'all's problem. That's what your problem is. You treat other people like trash. I was telling my wife earlier, these dang dolls at the house would give me more comfort than any one person ever would out here, out in the fucking public. The only way I'm ever going to get any attention is if I'm dead on the table. That's it. High's not going to do it. It's 2 letters. Do I need to take every fucking person to grade school and show them how to have an actual conversation? Because I know how I would do it. It's real easy. No, it's not to show off my fucking kids. No, it's not to show off whether or not I've got a fucking car. I know how to have conversations. I don't need material things to show off to people. I don't need to brag about what I do and don't have. There is an old school feel to me that is always going to trump all over it. Almost most of you people out in this world, y'all don't know how to make good conversation. Even on here, the few people that have tried to say something, they don't even have a picture of it. They don't have anything of value. There is no way that my wife, as long as I'm breathing in and out, and as long as I've got anything left, is ever going to find me or her anything. I can see right now, this is the absolute worst place to be. There is no happiness after you get a certain age on this earth. There is no bestie out there. There is no happiness. Fucking feller just got to do what he's got to do, and that's fucking be boarded up in a house and not do anything. I mean, it's quite obvious. There ain't nothing else to illustrate this anymore. Because I just saw it from my own eyes. I mean, I could name several people. This fucking Jennifer didn't even do anything. This whole time, they'll go and they'll find when I'm not around that they feel comfortable, they feel at ease to sit there and for some reason give another married woman some attention. They don't care about a couple. They don't think about how unfair it is. They don't understand that, yes, a man's feelings get hurt too. I like a little bit of attention once in a while with my wife, instead of it being so fucking biased for once. What I got to do, like I told her earlier, what I got to do, fucking carry around a doll too? I'm going to start doing that fucking shit. And I ain't joking on that one. Hell, I'll take Bailey out or Jesse Pooh. We'll see how far I get with it. It ain't wrong for her to carry one, so my God, I might as well just join the fucking crowd. Because I can say, unlike you people, I can say I get more enjoyment out of that. God dang, I mean, it's true. Man, my wife sat here night and day. The dogs don't gripe. The dogs don't give you a fit. I mean, there ain't no back sassing. I mean, it's all the reasons why I can't function around normal people. Because y'all just too goddamn biased towards other people. You don't even recognize what you're doing wrong, but I know you know what you're doing. You don't know how to come up and greet an actual married couple. I see what the hell's going on. And everybody else's problem at work is to pig the ones, like I told my wife, she said, well, why don't you say something? If I say something, everybody's butt's going to get hurt. If I say anything. And I've seen it. And it don't do me any good. We'll never find nothing else out here again. I see what's out here. I've seen it from my eyes. I mean, it's biased. There ain't nothing in it. No, there ain't no need for any counseling. These people need to go back to grade school and learn how to.
It's for me. It's not for them. It's for me.
They need to learn how these people.
I can't take it no more. I'm stressing myself out.
I'm just making a point. I'm making a video.
I need it, baby.
My wife needs to learn how to take these biased people and take them and kick them square in the ass.
I have.
And I'm going to, because you're not enforcing it.
I am enforcing it.
My wife likes getting this undivided attention. That's what's wrong. It's easy for her not to. She don't want to hurt their feelings. Well, I do, because they have a problem. They treat me and her different. That's what their problem is. Baby dog. Lay down there. It's all right. Lay down there, baby. Lay down there. It's okay. You just lay down there. It's not. I'm just trying to make a video. Baby, it's all right. I'm making a video. My wife don't like it. I'm tearing her little Christmas tree down. Well, these people ain't her buddies. These people don't know how to greet people. These are people that are gossipers. They're not coming up to us both and sharing a conversation. High's not gonna get it done. Not for me. I grew up in a time when people could actually look you in the eye, sit down, and have a fucking dinner. They could have a fucking good time. They knew how to do it. I saw it a year and a half ago with somebody I never met before. She looked me and my wife both in the face. We looked her in the face. We had a conversation. Was it a big one? No. But it was a short one. And we didn't know she was married. But I see a difference in that person compared to every person that gets out down here in this fucking store or around it. I knew that person, and I must be right. I didn't even ask her, and this is just my own opinion. She had to have been an out-of-towner. And the reason I kind of know this, and the reason I'm ahead of it, is due to the fact that she ordered a pizza. Generally, when I've even ordered a pizza back in the day, you ordered a couple minutes ahead if you're out and about, and that way they get it done, because it does take 20 minutes or so to get a pizza done, because they have to actually make the pizza and put it in the oven and cook it and put whatever toppings you want on it and all that jazz. So, it does take a little time, but, that's generally the only, aside from one or two people that may get hired on at a job. Like I told my wife, the thing is, with most people, and I'm admitting on the video right now, so speaking, she's not asking for the attention, but they're doing it in the way that it hurts me. They're doing it on spite. I know they are. They got a problem. I'd be happy too if somebody would fucking do it right. If somebody knew how to actually go up to somebody and fucking do what needs to be taught in grade school. Talk about something that needs to be a subject in school. They need to know how to get out there and be social. Yeah, when I'm upset, I don't feel like talking to nobody. I was in a good mood till I'll fucking walk in that store and see all this fucking bullshit going on. It's been going on over 30 years. I've heard about it, and I see it more now than I ever have in recent memory. I used to go up here, go to school, and they'd say, "Oh, yeah, Derek, this is Gossip World's gossip chain." My wife has no firsthand knowledge of any of these people that's just out here walking up. They just periodically think because somebody might have laid their eyes on them at one time or another that somebody cares about their fucking kids or they care about some fucking problem they got. Yeah, they're the ones that need to go find some book or read up on something to know how to greet somebody. I see it out on social media all the time. When we had a Facebook, nobody knew how to greet us. We had one of those fucking people my wife had to throw in the trash because she didn't know how to greet nobody. She come up in here with, "Well, I'm only allowed to do this, and he's only allowed to do that," kind of thing, No have to mention nobody by name, but we know who they are. It's just laughable. It's fucking funny that they don't have to do anything hardly, and I can tell you in the first 5 minutes what I like somebody, usually, most of the time, because they don't know how to greet a couple. Yeah, we ain't looking for another married couple to move in with. But what if we ever were to get anywhere, somebody's going to have to stop this chain of events that's going on out here. Nobody's going to get along as long as this fucking biased women's movement's going around that my wife doesn't want to be a part of, by the way. But it's a biased movement that's been going on for years, for decades. Men and women are not going to get along as long as there is this biased problem that they have. Yes, I don't like to really go out there and do other guys' stuff because I'm not into it. So yes, call me what you will. But I'm saying as long as these women keep throwing their own problems under the bus, or that they have a problem with men having loud voices or having opinions like I got. I was raised that way. If you have a problem with me, you have a problem with my mother. You have a problem with my dad. You have, my mother would be more the example to give you, due to the fact that she's the one who raised me up not to let people pick on me. It didn't matter if you was white, black, skinny, tall, fat, whatever. You picked on me, and I got you back. I didn't take your shit. I didn't have to get physical because my voice, my God-given voice, was given to me. But God, you want to know why people are not going to listen to that Bible? Because by the time I get through, I'm going to prove it, that your way does not work. Your way is a fad. It is fake. Not anybody is going to get up there and I'll get along. Nobody is going to get along as long as there is politics in the world. As long as there's something to upset these butthurt people, these movements, it's got nothing to do with me or my wife. It's sprattled out all over TV, all over the world. There's shootings. There is people right now as we speak dying. They're dying of starvation. There's kids out there all over the world who wish there was somebody who would pay attention to them. Out there getting hurt, mistreated of some sort. Here, me and my wife's two grown adults and can't get one fucking person to sit down and fucking do something right. And talk. Because they don't have the 4-letter word I'm fixing to mention. Time. Why do they not have time? Because they don't want to make it. They have two choices. They can either do what mine and my wife's family does, which is make excuses, and then later on say, and they come up to her when they have seen her. She's told me this, so I know it happens. I don't have to doubt her 1 minute. They say, "Oh, I'm sorry." Yeah, it's too late. You only get one chance. And nobody told me that Derek, don't give anybody 100 chances. I sort of made that my own thing. I'll be nice and give you a second or third chance if I think it, but mainly a second chance, But because I believe if you've done something severely wrong and you regret it, I believe if you've learned your lesson, I don't believe there'll be any reason to have a third chance. I believe if you get a second chance, I believe there's a reason. Because I can tell that you didn't mean what you did to whoever you might be out there. It happens all the time, but you don't get 100 chances, people. It don't work that way. Jobs around here don't do that. It's not a cool thing to think that way, because it don't happen. Everybody loses friends. I've done it. I'm a living proof. I'm one of them that's lost a lot of people over stupid shit they've done in their lives. They don't involve me in anything, and I don't involve them in anything I do, because there ain't nothing to surmise, nothing to get nowhere in. I can't stomach the way people have done my wife. I just seen it yesterday. I've seen it for the last 10 years. That's why nobody's ever get anywhere, though. Not just me and her, anybody. Because as long as this biased movement thing is going on, and I'm not hating on the people that just wants to be around certain few people or whatever you want, but as long as me and my wife can't get this, deal where, you can get them to like both, there's never going to be any chance. I just proved it. There ain't enough people to go around up here. There ain't but 1,600 people. Me and my wife count for 2 of those. Hell, I don't know how many was in there yesterday, but there was probably, I guess, I'll make an educated guess. There might have been about 50 people, maybe. It could have been a little more, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't counting, but let's just go with 50. So me and my wife's 2 of that. And, me and my wife has a good time usually when we go shopping. And I like having my wife out there. Like I said, it's something everybody's supposed to enjoy. You're not out there for everybody else. I'm not out there. My wife's not out there to please everybody's, we're not everybody's problem solver. We're not Steve Wilkos. We're not Maury or any kind of thing like that. But I see it all the time out in this world. Y'all may get tired of hearing it. Yeah, you may not like what I'm saying, but there's truth to it. I mean, yeah, I'll talk to some guy if he just happened to be in there. Like yesterday, there was somebody, me and my wife. It seems like no guys have a problem. I'm not going to take them home and do what I do for our unicorn bestie. But if somebody needs help or just wants to say something, we had a guy sitting over there yesterday. As a matter of fact, my wife wants to hear something positive. There was a guy sitting over there yesterday. After the fact that all these fucking people pissing me off. He was sitting over there eating his dinner, and he asked me how he's getting all them groceries. I said, because the government was giving out food stamps. And I told him, he said, well, I didn't think it was that much or whatever it was, And I said, well, they right now, because of the virus stuff that's went on for over the last year and a half, since March of 2020, they've been upping everybody's food stamps. If you were supposed to get, me and my wife was only getting like $70 or a little over that, but it wasn't much over that, like a few dollars more. Ever since then, we've gotten, what was it, 400 and some odd dollars every month. So if you're somebody out there, if you want to hear something positive, get out there. If you can get out, even if you don't qualify, it don't hurt to try right now, because the government's doubling down on the food stamps. So, like right now, and they don't send out many of these now that much since I don't work. They actually penalize you, believe it or not. And that figures, right? The government penalizes you for working the job. You can't work over so many hours. That's bull. You can't work any. I've worked less than 12 when I worked, this is the misconception of the government for you. But the United States government doesn't go by this rule. But there's a rule it's supposed to be put in place for handicapped people. When we go out there and get a job, right, we're supposed to be able to work 20 hours, no matter what. We're supposed to be able to work 20 hours. Here's the reason why I don't like to work at all, because if you're somebody on SSI, they take out every dollar. They have you go through this bullshit. Their butt hurts so bad They have you go through this bullshit of sending in your check stubs. And I've done it. Don't get me wrong, because I don't need them down here, tromping down here, jumping down me or my wife's throat. I try to go by the rules, like everybody else is supposed to. But, if I had anything to do with it, I'd fucking go by the rule that they set. But they don't enforce it. I don't know who made it a rule, but you're supposed to be able to work 20 hours without any problem whatsoever. And you say, well, that don't sound like a lot. Well, it does to a handicapped person. They usually, what they do, they could split it up and have you work 2 or 3 days. Like when I worked at Sonic, I worked 2 or 3 days. And, 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example. I worked 2.5 each day. At Hardee's, I worked Thursdays and Fridays. I worked, wasn't it Thursday and Friday? Or was it? Yeah, I think it was Thursdays and Fridays. So I worked 3 hours, basically 2 days out of the week. And that was 6 hours. And they still, they take out every little dollar. And it's nothing much I make. And they go by what you make, for goodness sake. And it's not like you're out there trying to apply for a job that would make you famous or whatnot. I've always worked at even my wife could speak to this. It sucks. The government will sit there and give you little amounts of money these days, go out there and make all these packages and all these little things ever since the virus has happened. They'll go out there and they'll make, make you think that they really care, and now they've got I hear on TV and I've seen it on advertised on here on YouTube. Oh, Derek, you've got an old person's package out for the nursing home people now. Now they're going to try to get them to suck up to them. Now they're going to try that route. And somebody might say, well, wouldn't you take it? Well, yeah. But I'm just saying it's not because they want to. It's because they know they had to. Because they let a virus in here. They let these fucking people from America go over to these foreign countries, which I argue there ought to be a border closed. We oughtn't be allowed to travel to any other countries. We ought to be over here in our own country, minding our own damn business. That's why that damn virus shit got over here. Because they started letting these fucking people from our country go over to these foreign countries. And then they let these foreign people come over here from their country all the way over here to America. And then that's where the problem started. Because that's why we're getting all these other extra viruses that we don't need, because there's bad health issues over in these other countries. There's bad pollution, even worse than America. And other things that affect their daily lives, and we don't need that over here. But the reason we got what we got over here, and the reason it affected other countries besides our own, is because they allow people to travel to these countries. They ought to stay where they're at, not just our country, but any country. But is that going to happen? No, but it should, to protect everybody else. If you live wherever you live, and that's where you should stay. That's your country. You don't need to see what's out in the rest of the world that bad to cause other people to die and get sick. But y'all just can't help yourselves, and there ain't a rule that says you can't. And they've got this where, oh yeah, you can still fly on airplanes. You could go, well, Derek, could shut the airplane business down if you did that. No, it wouldn't. People out here in America can fly to 50 states over here. We got 50 states we can go to. I don't know about Canada and all them other countries, but there's enough places they can go. They just need to make an airliner that stay in their own country. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this shit happen to us. Yeah, we had two of those, check things, but now they're being biased and only making it for one certain thing. And well, why, Lord, it's like they don't even care about all the people. They're just picking out one's here and one's there, and it's crazy. It's like they're trying to get sympathy now. They're trying to get votes because they're out here handing money. Ever since Donald Trump first sent one of them checks out, it don't make a damn bit of difference. You can send me $1 million, and it wouldn't affect how I feel about politics or religion or I'm one of the few people that can admit this. I don't have a thing to do with hating on anybody's color, anybody's race. I don't believe in it. That's just how I am. Whatever you are is what you are, But that's why we're in the situations that we're in. And like I said, my videos range from several different topics. But not a lot of people have enough guts to come out here and tell, these other people how they truly feel. Because they're afraid they're going to hurt somebody's little feelings. Or they're afraid that it happens all the time. Just like I said, it's what you either look like on the outside to somebody. It's what you either have or don't have. They're worried about whether you got money or not. Money's just paper. It grows on goddamn trees, people. Good Lord. It's not like you're going to have, and that's the thing. Everybody sees celebrities on TV and they think, oh man, they sure, got things. Yeah, they didn't get that overnight. They got lucky. They get lucky. And I had, for example, I'll give you a good example, a nice good one. I've always had this passion. My wife knows this. I've always had passion for music. And I've always liked how, back in the day, there used to be some music out there in the world to listen to. Fly or something. But, I'm not as passionate about wanting to be in music because I see how hard it truly is and how tough it would be to get somebody to support you or to get you to get around, because you got to go through all these hoops. If you just want to be a DJ, you got to start out calling these little high school games or somebody else's games and all this stuff. It's just too much trash. It's too much trash to go through. Too much red tape. And in my situation, there wouldn't be any way it could happen. My dad at one time, for example, said, "Derek, you could be the greatest commentator or the greatest one of the greatest announcers of all time, ring announcers." Yeah, there was a time back, when I was little, and I'm sure my wife could speak to a lot of things that she liked too on TV. I used to have a buddy that thought just because there was a TV show that had this thing where they get on these TV shows and these movies and they have these certain scenes where they're all out eating in a restaurant and somebody says they own this and they own that. Truth of the matter is they rent that space out during the movie scene to these people so they can film it and then they give it right back to them. But as long as it takes to film that scene, they rent that out, or for that TV show, however long they need it. They ask them and they allow them to do that. So they are allowed to tape it, film it, or whatever. So, you can't just go around and just think, these movies are made. Yeah, freely. I mean, there was a time when 9/11 happened that you couldn't go up there and be in New York City for the longest time and film where the towers got hit one. They would edit out. As a matter of fact, I can remember they edited out anybody that had a movie coming out right around that time. They had to go back and edit it out, so it made movies where you couldn't see them, And then for several years after that, they never made a movie, in that part of New York City or even in New York. I don't even think for the longest time, as I recall. But yeah, that's why we're not going to get anywhere. It's not because there's a problem with me or my wife. It's a problem with this population. And as long as y'all carry that around and want to be biased and want to be like that, you single women out there with or without kids, and you want to hate on us for wanting what we're hoping for, well, as long as you continue to be biased, like I've seen Jennifer do yesterday, like I've seen some of these other people do yesterday, me and my wife saw yesterday, you're never going to get nowhere. It doesn't matter whether I say anything or not. If I say something, of course it's going to rub some people the wrong way because they don't know. The other people, you got to remember, don't know probably what just happened, but they would probably do the same thing, most likely, if given the chance. Nobody knows how to go out there and have a good, decent time, a good dinner. Like I said, we had all our eggs wrapped up in one basket there about 9 or 10 months ago. My wife felt so bad for this one person. We were going to give her the world. Make her a good offer. I don't mean like, I don't mean it like y'all think I mean it, but like, we was going to make a great offer, take her and her kids in. And, well, we didn't know she had kids at the time, but I mean, we was going to, whatever she had in her package, we was going to try to take. And I could tell right away, very early on, that without going in too deep, because I went into it deep a lot of times on here, but basis I'm saying is that's what we had in mind and what she had in mind were two different things. I mean, I'd give anything right now for somebody to come up this door. Me and my wife both would, to see somebody that could like both and not be prejudiced toward one or the other, whether it was me or her or however. But I'm noticing as long as this prejudice stuff is going on with these women and these women just want to talk to other women, it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna say it this way. Yes, I don't go through what y'all go through. Sometimes there are certain areas like with certain things, but we were made the way we were made. There was a reason why we don't have what y'all have. There's a reason why y'all are the ones that have the kids, but it also takes the man to have the kids. You can't just have them on your own. You got to have two to tango. So it doesn't, have any excuse for why you can't be just brutally honest about what you're going through. It doesn't matter. It's not going to upset me. Your period thing ain't no secret. Everybody knows women have periods. They don't. It's no secret. I find it's one of the touchiest subjects when it comes to a damn woman. I've noticed a lot of times they're touchy about their weight or they're touchy about this. My wife had told me the other day when her was talking how some people will say, "Oh, I want to stay skinny and I want to do." Yeah, if you want that, but it ain't gonna hurt you also to have a little meat on your bones. It's not gonna make you Hulk Hogan for God's sake. It ain't gonna hurt you to have just a little bit of meat on your bones, like my wife said. you know. But the problem is, everybody thinks it's something secretive. Everybody's been around hundreds of years, long before I was here. Everybody knows that the same things have applied then as they do now. It's not going to bother me one iota. If you had something to tell me and my wife, we both would agree on it. When it comes to whatever problem you're going through, the problem I have and the problem that my wife's had is y'all, the ones that we have laid our eyes on, have either back talked, have gotten their little butt hurt because either they don't like how I speak, how I talk, which my wife knows me for 10 years. She's had 10 years, a whole decade with me. It's the same excuse if she lined up of 500 people that she'd seen over the years. None of them would like me because I'm too much for them. But yet they go around and all these people that she's probably met over the years, which she's met a lot more than me. And I bet you they would come out and say the same thing these other people have. So what? They saw me get, and they heard me get a little bit upset. Well, who wouldn't? For all the biased, unwanted attention. Nobody asked for this. My wife didn't. I certainly didn't. Yes, you dang right. Like I said earlier, I am not going to talk when I'm upset. I don't want. I have enough problems as it is in my daily life. My wife has enough problems as it is. Me and her can sit down and talk things out. She might, misunderstand something. It might take her a little bit to understand it, but she knows exactly what I'm trying to get at. I don't think it's because she don't want me to expose you. It's just because when I get loud, she don't like it a little bit because she knows that I'm upset and I have feelings. This is how, I very rarely cry. You can ask my wife, for example. She would tell you the only time I cry is when there's something like a death if there was somebody I really cared for and they passed away. Back when my dad passed away, that was the worst thing you could have done to me because my dad loved his son and he understood his son. He understood my wife better than anybody could have ever understood my wife. He had a misunderstanding and did, like I said the other day on a video, but he understood why she carried a doll around. He didn't go about it the wrong way like a lot of these butt-hurt women do. I wouldn't be so upset for her getting attention out of her dolls if I knew it wasn't what I'm saying. She doesn't ask for that. And y'all just because she carries a doll around, y'all, yeah, it's just like automatic with you guys. Like y'all need, like you don't even get no attention at home or something. Like there ain't enough. Like my wife said yesterday, do I need to actually go out there and find y'all something to do? Because I certainly could. Maybe y'all need to go out there and fucking pick up trash off the side of the road like these prisoners do. Maybe y'all need to go out there and fucking do what women do and pretty much not trying to be hateful, but there was a reason why men were put on the earth, put cars together, put different things together, lift certain things that women couldn't. That's why they were made mostly, and not saying a man can't clean, because they certainly can. But main objectives for a man and a woman, there's two different things here. I mean, women most of the time, choose to have a clean house. They choose to do the guy goes to work, makes his money and whatnot. And a lot of times me and my wife will take turns washing the dishes or something. We get in the mood, which we don't generally get in the mood to clean a lot because we don't have no company and there ain't nobody out there that we'd want to have even 5 minutes with of company right now. But if we knew something special was coming along or doing, gonna happen, we'd try to mop and sweep floor, make it look good, you know. Um, but I mean, it's just, and like I said, if not all these things are y'all's problem, y'all couldn't handle the fact that we have, you know, all this stuff that we'd have to move. I mean, it's going to be somebody, like I said, somebody that just has that in their heart to do it. I was speaking to my wife yesterday about, when I come home and me and her ate. We had a nice little dinner. Uh, let's see, we had lasagna, and my wife made us lasagna last night. Um, and I get this certain kind of lasagna. I don't like that kind in a can. I like to get that kind that me and her likes. That I think it's called Con Air, and it's pretty dang good. I like it. It's got a little bit of cheese on it. It's got the noodles are pretty big, and it's got the sauce on it. I like it. It's better to me. I don't like the ones in the can because the stuff they put in the cans just don't. It's got all these little like tomatoes or whatever it be, like uh, little tomatoes. I just don't like it. It's just like I pick them out. I just can't take it. I don't like fooling with them. But I just I'm lost for words. I mean, like it's a shame that yeah, you have to be ashamed to be out in public. You know, and you can't like just enjoy. Like me and my wife just can't enjoy one shopping trip just by ourselves. Like I said before, I'm not above. I'm not above speaking to somebody, but it's like John Cena always used to say, and I mentioned this I think earlier a little bit. But you want some, come get some. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know what runs through majority of the world's minds, but there's always it seems like there's a problem out in the world. There ain't nothing to be jealous over. If there's a couple out there, they ought to be able to get the same attention all the other people gets. If religion was this big powerful thing and everybody was just supposed to all get along, everybody was just supposed to like each other like my wife wants to do, everybody or like I even wanted to get along with a lot of people. But I realized early on in my life you just couldn't do it, you know, because they just can't get over the little bitty things that whether you're a man, a woman, it doesn't make any difference. Y'all look at everybody and you see this, you got this racist problem. You see colors, you don't like certain colors, but yet there's every color in the book out there to draw with, color with, like coloring books. And my wife likes art. It's one of the things she likes to do. Y'all don't have a problem with a black car or a purple car or whatever the color might be, but yet you'll have a problem with people's skin color. So what? As long as everybody's equal. Maybe everybody's not as smart as the other person, but even the smartest person, and I've said this before, even the smartest person makes mistakes, forgets to put a period down there every now and again. probably forgets how to spell a word in the heat of the moment. It can happen to anybody. So when you go around and make fun of people and how they write, how they print, or how they misspelled something, they probably didn't mean to, you know. But I have had and experienced some people on social media before, a long time ago, several years ago. I have seen people get upset because they don't. What do you think Texan is? That's the first thing I remembered when if you wanted to put out something. When phones were first out and they were able to text and not just call out on the phone like the phones of yesterday, but when they first came out, like 20 something years ago, in the late 90s, especially around the time I got one, texting was a big thing back then. Way before, 4 or 5 years before Facebook and 5 years before YouTube got started. 9 years to the day, I think it was 8 or 9 years when I first got my phone before Twitter. All these social media apps have ruined everybody. And they like to talk about Grammarly or whatever that commercial is, where this thing has you, and it obviously proves my point. People make mistakes. Otherwise, there wouldn't be no reason for that fucking tool. And actually, to be honest with you, it confuses the hell out of me. When I'm trying to write, if I were to try to write an email, it tries to tell me this is spelt wrong. And I know it ain't. It's spelt right. And it puts this little red line under there and it gets on my freaking nerves. It's like, freaking goodness sakes, And it's just an annoying tool. I mean, as long as you know what you're saying, I can say words that I don't even spell, but I try to get as close as I can to them. Or I'll tell you what it means. I'll tell you what word I was trying to spell. I had no problem in doing that. I don't hate on people for misspelling. I know they can't help it because I was one of the fortunate ones, like my wife. We have a learning disability. And yeah, she's right. It ought to be that if I were to take her word and I were to, and she don't mean no harm. I'll make that clear. If I were to believe what Hazel said in the car when I was going to put up the card, because supposedly she wanted to know why I was a little bit irritated and I was upset. She's also one of the people that I realize I can't do much with. She's part of the problem too. I used it yesterday because I knew I couldn't take all that shit on Seth. We had $400 and some worth of food on the card, and I couldn't take all that I had in that buggy. And I told the guy yesterday when he come to check up on us. I told him yesterday, I didn't want to get him in trouble with Mary because I told her to bring the car, but it must not have been available and there wasn't nobody on the bus. But I didn't want to take a chance. I know they said they would work with me and all that, but we had quite a bit. And what it is, stuff gets rolling around, when they're trying to, and they don't want to have to clean up all that and something spill or, you know what I'm saying? So I can understand. Plus, if you got other people on the bus or something, or you got a person in a wheelchair, you can't have that many bags on there. Nothing more than you can carry. You're allowed. I seen a sign the other day. You're allowed about, 4 bags. I think up to 4 bags. Oh, we had more than that, way more. Like I said, though, it's just that people like it, the pig don't understand. And people out all over the world don't understand that if I wanted y'all to treat me like a dog and I wanted you to treat my wife like a dog, well, we would have told you that. But nowhere do I recall ever saying that. I would have just as much problem if a person was paying me more attention, because it would hurt my wife. I'm not a single man anymore. I'm a married man. I don't, I hate when she's upset and cries. You know, so yes, as a single man, I would have had no problem with upsetting somebody else because I wouldn't have had nobody else around me. But I'm a married man now. You know, me and my wife, all we want's a unicorn bestie, if that's possible. But at the rate that she and I are seeing these people out here, and we're going to have to put our foot down at them. We're going to have to piss them off enough to leave us alone. If we don't start setting rules and regulations and other things and making these people, whether we hurt their feelings or not, like I told her, when I'm out there with her, if I have to, I'll step in there and I'll fucking tell them myself with her. We'll do it at the same time from now on. I'll decree that right now. So if it's Priscilla or any other person out there that's got their butt hurt, feels like we ought to know every damn fucking thing about them and that we supposedly fucking care that anybody has a kid, hey, I got no problem with y'all having kids. Any woman out there. But if we don't really know you and we've never hardly even seen you except for brief appearances here and there, or these damn people that fucking my wife would go up here to this church. Yeah, I seen one of them yesterday. They just can't help themselves. It's like my wife says, all they can do is say hello, hi, one little word, and they're gone. Wave at you or whatever. That's not going to get my attention. You know what gets my attention? My wife wants to know, but she ought to know. When a woman or a person of any kind sits down, I talked to a guy yesterday. He knew how to get my attention. He was wondering about something. He asked a question. I answered it. If it's a woman, let's just play both sides. Let's say if it's a woman. Like I used that earlier. If a woman sat down there and smiled, because a woman can't help but smile. I have the hardest time. My wife knows this. But a lot of times when she takes pictures, sometimes it takes her a little while, to get it going. I can smile, but it's, not normally an organic smile. Now, if you make me laugh or say something funny while you're wanting to take a picture or something, you can kind of get an organic smile. But it's hard for me to just do it on cue for, anything. I remember one time I was taking a picture up at school, and my teacher said, I forget now what it was for, but she picked me out. And she knew I hated pictures because I had told her one time. But she liked me well enough. It wasn't anything personal, but I didn't take her the wrong way. But, she knew all she had to do was say something about wrestling or joke around, with me. I could do it now, It's how I get people to laugh. Like I said, if you're somebody that can't take me for who I am, I don't have a handy joke book, as my wife would attest to you. But the way I make people laugh is by being this way, being honest. My mom back in the day used to roll at how brutally honest I was. So it's like I said, you can take me one way or you can take me the other. If you're not on my shit list, then you'll like the way I joke around. I don't do the milk carton jokes. I don't like to listen to the comedy shows on Comedy Central or nothing like that. But I will laugh at a good movie. I will have a good time when my wife and I are just sitting here talking. I feel like me and my wife can actually have a decent conversation to 90 something% of these people out here in this world, because your feelings are hurt if somebody doesn't like a certain person that you wanted to vote for, or why you voted for, which I don't care why you vote for who you vote for, but I tell you, if I had to worry about people that I don't socialize with, that I don't have any numbers to, that I don't have any addresses to, I would be in fucking trouble. It's why I don't worry about politics. These people don't care whether you vote for them or if you don't. It's all a publicity stunt. That's what I said. People need to remember it's all the ones that I can reach out there and touch. They all need to know that you can do something besides voting, because there's nothing to vote for. Just like all presidents, they're actually blowing more money because they think you people will actually care what they say. They know the things to say because they know that's worked for whatever it's been the last 100 and some odd years, 150 or whatever it's been since we've had the first president. But you know what? If we as a nation or as a whole country out here in the United States just said, you know what, if we gathered up enough people, even the ones I don't know, which there's 90% of them I don't, but if there was just enough people to sit down, think about it, this ain't something overnight, this is something I've gathered over years and years. I've watched enough news, I've got my ideal of thing, on the news. I know what they talk about. 365 days out of a normal year, except for leap year, you get 366. But I know what they talk about. It's the same 2 or 3 subjects. Or somebody, a black man gets shot by a cop, by a white man. Who cares? You ain't pointing out the ones where there's black cops shooting another black man or another. You're just being biased and you're making these people feel like you're actually being good reporters. And their defense is, well, it's just the way it happens. No, if you were being biased, you would show one like that, and then you would show one like I just said. But a report on one that's not indifferent. But you always do the same thing just to get somebody to say there's a racial issue. I don't go around, or my wife don't go around and interview every single person out here to ask them what religion they believe in, what they're, I don't care as long as nobody really wants my opinion. But the minute you say something to me and you want my opinion on something, I'm going to give it to you how I would give it to anyone else. I'm not going to treat you any different. I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to say it how I want to say it, how it's going to come out. If you agree with me, then you won't have no problem. But the minute you don't like it, then it's tough. But I didn't grow up, as a kid wanting everybody to pay attention to me. But yeah, since I'm a married man and since my wife's a married woman, we want equal attention. If you're going to pay attention to one, you might as well pay attention to both of us. Quit treating us like we're just some friend or something. We're a married couple. We've been together 10 years. This ain't about her. This ain't about me. It's about both of us. And if I had to, I swear to God, I said this earlier, if I had to start carrying a goddamn dollar around just to get somebody to fucking open their eyeballs up, I'll fucking do it. And if they say, "What?" And somebody might say, well, "What's he doing this now?" I want to say, "What?" I just might do it. I've been thinking about it. I want to see what they think if a man carrying $1. I want to see what they think. They're so positive when she brings out. Well, I want to see what they do. I just want to see what the general public thinks, because they don't realize that I actually have more feelings for these dolls that she has at the house than any other person sitting out there right now that's out here in freaking Decatur, Tennessee. And like I said earlier, Hazel was kind of wondering about, and I didn't quite get on all that, but was wondering about. I didn't finish this. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish. And I'm not mad at Hazel for saying that. I know she can see, and she does treat me and my wife, regardless of how we felt about, the whole thing with the clothes thing. It was it hurt her feelings a little bit. But she does try to, when she is taking us home, she is talking to both or says something to both or like yesterday. Like yesterday when she's on break, she usually takes a break around 2 o'clock. Yeah, she does what Jennifer don't do. She does what a lot of those other people do in there that or doesn't do in there. They don't sit down. They don't make eye contact. They don't talk. My wife said something about next time she went down there, she's going to talk to Jennifer. Really, honestly, the problem is they just don't. They don't know. They know how. They just don't want it. They're too afraid, I guess, that my wife's going to like them to the point that they know about, or maybe they have a clue. Maybe that's the problem. There could be many problems. But yeah, we have an offer out here. I've put it out here. It's not a bad offer. It's not a wrong offer. But the problem is you people never respect. You want respect. You want your whole family to like you and your little kids and all your goddamn, your little man that you got going on, running around with. But yet you treat other people that you don't know one way or the other. You can't treat both of us with the same respect. It would not matter if I was a woman. It would not matter if I were like I am now. I'm a guy. Whatever I were to be, I ought to be shown the same respect as anyone else. You treat others how they treat you. And they don't have to come out. I want to make this statement clear. They don't have to come up to me and say, fuck you. They don't have to do that. They don't have to. They don't even have to make motion at me, flip me off or anything. Just an example. They don't have to. It does have an adverse effect when you see these butthurt people doing this stuff the wrong way. I would respect more of these people that my wife gets all this attention from, and she don't even ask. It's what she's made clear to me. I've seen it. She don't even ask them to. She's like me. She might have seen them passing by through the store or whatnot. She might have uh, been somewhere and for 5 minutes might have said one or two things to somebody. These same people that does not, and I'm making this clear right now, they do not text her, call her, they do not even come around her, but yet they fucking have this problem that when they fucking in the store, they have this problem. And I don't care if they're happy about something or whatever. I'm happy about a lot of things, but do I go out there and pull everybody out in this fucking store and let them know what me and my wife's happy about every day? Do I tell them what things we do during the day? It's what offends me about church. You get a lot of these people comes in there, they do the same thing they're doing in these stores. They think all this stuff is that you're just supposed to just come up to one certain person, not even think about the other one, how the other one feels. You know, it it's what's going to tear the world apart because there's not enough people to go around and say the things that need to be done and things that need to be said to be done to help educate people. Like I said, it's not just a racial issue. It's a it's a gender issue. I don't know whether these people that's coming up to my wife has been mistreated by guys, or whether they just got a problem. Whether it's just a problem mentally with some type of something that they just got in their head and they just don't feel the need. And somebody might say, "Well, it's no worse than y'all." Oh, yeah, we want somebody, but they're a woman. It's not like it's another guy. Another guy just give me attention yesterday without me asking. I didn't ask for it, but for some reason, I can walk in the store. Like I told my wife, I could walk in there and be Casper and throw a sheet over my head, and nobody even fucking probably notice me. I mean, it's that dead quiet when I'm in there. I mean, there's people in there shopping, and there's people everywhere shops. My wife said every time I go down to Dollar Tree, Kathy will ask, yeah, because Kathy is not buying. She talks to my wife. She talks to me when I've been in there. She knows how to have a conversation. That is the difference. She treats the male half and the female half equally. I know who the Kathy woman is. I have seen her, but I don't go home with her. Me and my wife don't go home with that person. But she, every time we're in there, I mean, we don't do any extracurricular things. We don't talk about, relationship things or politics much or nothing. But we try to, when we go in there, we talk. I ain't been in Dollar Tree in a long time. I occasionally go in there, but a lot of times, I've been in there probably about, I don't know, probably several months ago, probably. I don't keep up with stuff like that. Like I said, but other than my wife going and paying her phone bill and everything, I'm going to do what I've always done these last several years. I'm not going to family gatherings. I don't care if they get on their knees and beg. I don't care if they cry. I'm not. If they ever did it, I wouldn't do it. Tell them to get off their knees and go back home. Because I'm at the stage in my life, in my wife's life, we're both at the stage where we just much rather have these dang dolls here that we can dress, we can talk to, we can pay attention to, and that regardless of what anybody says, it's better than talking to a real person and trying to make sense of why y'all do the things that I have said in this video. You all have a big problem. I mean, like I said, I would not do the same thing for a guy, but at least if a guy talks to me, I do acknowledge him. I don't know him, but I always try to treat people with respect. No, I'm not going to offer him to be our unicorn bestie. No, but I don't go out there and make that public knowledge out in public. You can ask my wife. Yes, there is a offer for a one and only first come first served female out there, 20s, 30s, up to about somewhere around 40. If you're somewhere out there and you're like in your mid 20s, like I said, if you're slim to an average body type, uh, if you like sports, you like music, you like art. My wife likes the Lifetime Movie Channel. We like good comedy movies. We like other things like that. There's, many things like that we like. Most of the stuff we like are from the old days, from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Our music taste has a variety to it. It's not just one certain thing. It's not the new stuff of today. Most, not all, but most of the new stuff aren't that good. These people today don't know how to sing and carry a tune. I catch myself going back and listening to the stuff I grew up on. Same thing with the wrestling or boxing or anything, any sport, football, basketball, even tennis. Yeah, anything that was in that era that I grew up in, I would rather watch because there were superstars, golf. Tiger Woods, for example, Pete Sampras for tennis or whatever, and Venus Williams, Serena Williams. See, I'm not biased. They're black. I'll sit there and I'll watch anything from my time. I don't like today's people that don't get over enough. They don't have that crowd following. Same thing with NASCAR. Back when I was younger, they had Dale Earnhardt. They had everybody on that field. You just about knew or had an idea. They were these big stars, but now you don't know half of the field. You don't know anything, and I know times have to change, but it's just like nobody can get put on a Wheaties box anymore. Nobody, you know, most recent person that I think got over with people was Jimmy Johnson or one of them. But like I said, I just catch myself liking the old ways of how things were done. I used to be able to go in stores, and I'm sure my wife could too. Even back then, she still can now, actually, believe it or not. It's just, I mean, I had to get my feelings out here. And like I say, it's nothing against her. She's not asking for all this biased, choose one over the other type stuff. Come up and make a good casual conversation. Do something. Take 5 minutes. You don't even have to take that much out. Take 5 minutes out. If you're this Jennifer out there and you want some attention so bad, all you got to do is smile at me. I saw a young one yesterday, and I don't know if it's the one I saw or if it's one of them others. And there's so many people in there, I can't keep them straight. I saw one though for example, I saw one that had some long hair, and she, was this young. I try to be careful. As much as my wife knows, I jump just to talk to one of these young ones. I have to be careful because, and she realizes some of that too because as much like I said with the family diner thing, I was in there, and this woman gets talking about her personal life and gives her personal stories, and my wife gets a little bit attached to her, and but by the way, she felt sorry for her, and I do. I feel sorry for people that are out there struggling, probably like we are. Probably don't get no attention. Probably there's another man out there like me, handicapped, wishes he could get some attention once in a while, along with his wife. If these people would just turn that around and realize that it matters to both people how you treat them. They wonder why I go out there and I get so pissed off, or that my wife. It, it's not that we need any help or that we need counseling. You people need to help yourself and realize what you all are doing out there today. What's really wrong with you guys? You guys are out there self promoting anything that makes you happy. And anything that makes you happy is supposed to just all of a sudden be understood of why you and come up to random strangers in the store that you don't even hardly know. If I didn't know who I was and I wasn't raised the way I was, I could have been anything. I could have been a drug dealer. I could have been a murderer. I could have had a gun, a knife on me. You never would have known. But I did not grow up like that. But I'm saying these people go up in the stores and they treat like they just think my wife's just the sweetest thing in the whole world. And she is to me, but she's not taking in everybody. She's not out there for friends. She's not out there, and I'm not either. Because, like I said, I see what they're doing. They're trying to be biased and they're trying to split us up. I've seen enough of these people from Hiwassee places. I've seen enough of these drug dealers out in the streets. I know they're out there, even though they're not around me. I've only laid my eyes on one that used to be a druggie, and I don't have sympathy for nobody that uses excuses for cigarettes, beer, or drugs. If you can't will yourself to help your own self, then you can't have programs help you. Another person's not going to help you. Anything they say out of their mouth's not going to help you. Anything they write down for you to do is not going to help you. It's not necessarily going to get done. That's why I said I wonder sometimes how they must feel, knowing that they picked a profession, and that they did it with their heart. But I just wonder, and I don't know, I've never asked a counselor or someone that has this job, but I wonder, is it really worth the money? You know, and I'm sure somebody would say, well, yeah, I would hope I've helped a few people along the way or that I've, you know, encouraged somebody. And I'm sure some people would probably come back at some point in time and say, hey, you really straightened me out. But, a lot of people hides that stuff. Regardless of how they feel, they don't really tell you everything and they're not so truthful about everything. Just like, remember, my wife's not going to just tell you counselors just anything. I remember when my dad passed away, they was jumping up and down thinking I was just going to come in there and spill the beans. The people I don't even know. I don't even take them home. I don't go out on dates with them. We don't we don't have the money. We would have the money for a person, that we hope for comes to us to do like take out on dates, like my wife said, take them out, take the girl out, and all of us go out there and have a dinner. Go out, buy her some good things. She could buy us things or whatever she wanted to do. you know, but we would make sure that we always paid the other one back. But, because we're simple people, the most expensive thing that we have for our unicorn bestie is the ring that me and my wife bought. Nobody told us to go out and buy it. We don't even know if it's going to happen. But if you can't take me the way I am and the way that me and my wife wants to be treated, we don't want one or the other getting more than the other. We want to see us both get it equally. That's what I want. I want somebody that could sit down and both of us sit down there and actually see something out of somebody that you just do not see anymore. You don't see it on a regular basis, not even a semi-regular basis. You don't see it. But no, I just want to make clear, no, I'm not going to talk to somebody just when they say hi. maybe if you give me a smile, maybe if you, because I'll smile. I'll be honest with you. I said this before, and my wife knows it. I've said it around her before. I said, it ain't but about two things that make me smile. And of course, my own wife makes me smile. I can add that in there. We laugh, cut up, joke around. We can hug, kiss each other, whatever. You know, but yeah, I mean, another woman that makes it an effort to smile. It's natural for a woman to smile. I don't know. They have a knack for that. Just like I don't, but they do. But if another woman came up and they were interested in our offer, or they made the opportunity present itself, and they wasn't worried about their phones, and they wasn't worried about their damn what somebody thought. If they had a place for us to go, if they had something in mind, or even if they didn't, and they were just able to see things from our point of view, and at least be like my dad used to say. He used to say, "Man, compromise is the best thing." You know, if you can, if like I was telling my wife, and I made a video, I think it was yesterday. If a fella could see to it that they could compromise, not just based on the two or three things I mentioned earlier, but just on anything. If you can always find a way to sit down even after you've went for a walk. Sometimes my wife gets misunderstood, and when sometimes she'll go for a walk, or sometimes she'll just lay down like she did a while ago. She hates seeing me upset. I hate being upset. I have to admit that I don't like being this way. It's not like me and her do this all the time. But when other people make us mad or upset, we have our feelings and we show them. And it just bothers her as much as it bothers me. She never sees me happy except for when me and her have these dolls at the house. She knows that she's allowed to do anything she wants to do with them because she don't have to worry about me saying anything bad about them. She takes care of them better than any fucking human being out here on this fucking planet because she can, because she don't have restrictions and rules to follow like you damn people have your butt hurt every time you turn around. That I've seen, the ones I've seen. And that's really the whole issue. That's why there is people out there, and I'm speaking of other women who are reborn mothers who may not have real kids, or if you do have real kids, your kids will love these dolls. They could they could sleep with them at night, cuddle up with them. I used to have a monkey that I carried around, not in the stores, but I mean at home. I'd sleep with it when I didn't have my wife here, and I literally prayed out. I remember, I always and I named it Bubbles, and I used to have this voice that I would do for it, and that I'd make it sound like it was talking to me, and then I'd talk back. I had more fun doing that than any person I have ever laid my eyes on in the last fucking 15, 16 years. Minus any family that I had, but I'm saying anybody outside of that. And I don't even fool. Me and my wife don't even fool with family anymore. We don't even fool with anything. It's a shame that that's why anything the Bible says doesn't mean anything, because there's no true meaning to everybody getting along in heaven. There's no golden road. There's no golden streets going to be done. There ain't going to be no God coming back down here and taking us nowhere. That's all hypothetical bullshit. It's stupid. Because these people down here could care less. Like I said, they go for the simple fact it gives them something to do. And yes, they may have some personal beliefs, but you know, it's not like I'm saying they really don't care. Because, like I said, a lot of those people actually are brought up that way. I was brought up at times in church, but for some reason or another, my mom didn't think to have me baptized before I was a certain age while she had the chance. I'm certainly not doing it now because I'm afraid of water, for one thing. I don't like a whole lot of water. I'll take a bath or shower when I need to. I'll do that, but I'm not going to go out there and swim with in the deep end in some ocean or whatever. I'll stay on the shallow end if I do get in a pool. But I just kind of wanted to come out here and tell people why I feel the way I do and why it hurts not only me but it hurts my wife the way y'all treat. She don't like the way y'all treat me, and I don't like the way y'all treat her either. Y'all need to treat us both the same way. If you got something to do or say, do it for both. We're not friends. We are a married couple. In caps, couple. Keyword. Married couples ought to be treated with respect. If y'all can go out there and show off your little girlfriends clique, like this crack whore up here did that one time, and I didn't get to see them in person because they knew better than come down here in person. Obviously, they didn't support her, things. Like I said, I could go on all night about that. I'm not going to. But if y'all can do stuff like that and shove that in our face, and oh well, Derek, at least you tried to tell them. I don't want anybody knowing. Like I said, if it's somebody out there, and I said this in yesterday's video, I don't want to make it a part of this one. Why it's on my mind. Yes, I want to get to know your family. My wife wants to get to know family and friends that you may have if you just have a few girlfriends around. The thing is, you don't have to rush that. Let's you and I and my wife have some time where we can talk, where we can keep this thing kind of secret for a little while, where we're not trying to overexpose our own selves, and then at the end of the day, you end up losing them because they ain't texting or calling you like they used to be. Let's surprise them after a little while. Let's, you know, do the one thing that nobody else can do, put the phone down. You know, I don't mind you going outside and talking to your best friend or whatever, or your family or whatever. I don't have to talk to them even right away. They can make their own decision if they want it. If they want to come up and talk to me or my wife, we'll be more than happy to. But they don't have to talk to us right away. They ought to get everybody in this ought to give it time. Let let's see how we do first. And then when we feel like we know each other and we've talked about everything, and there is somebody out there, of course, like my wife said, hey, if there's somebody out there, Derek, well, we've invited you. This is like our Facebook. This is our way of getting out to the world. So if there is anybody out there, and God forbid, if there's anybody out there that's not about money, not about, you know, fucking cars or the fact that we don't have jobs and that, if you don't have a problem with us being handicapped or thinking the way we think, and you can actually understand that all people have minds and they speak their minds at certain points and they always get upset about something. Your boss might piss you off and you go in, you could be in a good mood and your boss piss you off because they take their problems at home, and you're not supposed to, but you just can't help it. You're a human being, you know. Sometimes problems at home starts to get in at work, and people. You know, that's why I said I quit working at these damn places because they would invite me or my wife to do something, and then it gets canceled at the last minute because some fucking body wants to borrow their damn cars, or somebody wants to do this or do that, but yet we get always pushed aside and mistreated. You know, it's like not nothing was ever said, and see, we just don't get, and that's just example. We've had it happen. When somebody promised us to take us to the fair, I had walked out there, me and my wife, about 2 years ago, walked out there, and you know, we walked out. As much as I don't like walking out on the streets, I don't do it now because I've only got my work shoes left. I'm trying to, find me some other shoes. But I just, you know, I don't, you know, I try as much as humanly possible not even look at nobody, not even talk to them. I do this at doctor's offices. I've done it at schools. I've done it in grocery stores. That's the way I've always done it. My wife, she's kind of been a little bit different. She was raised around a lot of girl cliques, or a lot of these people just so happens to run their lips. You know, they just like to have a social thing about them that they just, I don't know what it is. It's just like they just can't help themselves or something. And it's good to have a few of those, but I mean, it's not good to just have, you know, she wants what I want now, and I want support. I want to feel like somebody actually could support me. If I did need a dollar or two, that I could depend on somebody to trust me to pay them back. If me and my wife, that's why I said to Hazels and all the respect in the world. That's why I said, man, it would be nice if we could just find somebody that wasn't hateful for why we want the thing we're hoping for. And I'd hope somebody out there can understand it. I didn't mean to, I was trying to calm my wife down a while ago, and that's why I got up, during this video. I just don't want any negative comments, it just, things happen. Like I said, I'm cooled off. I'm talking like I am now because I'm cool about everything, and I'm trying to get everything off my chest, and I'm trying to make sure that everybody just understands this is the only way we have to reach out to the world. Like I said, if there were anybody out here on any of these roads out here between Goodfield Road, this little driveway up here, it's actually supposed to be a street. It's supposed to be part of a street. And it's called 182 Brown Street. If there were anybody out here in Decatur, Tennessee, that was a lady and saw this video, we would love, and we're apartment A, by the way. It's got a little A, it's got a capital A on the door. This driveway's got a couple of ruts in it, but it's doable. She goes up and down it all the time. I try not to because I have a hard time walking as it is. So, I can walk, but it's hard for me to walk on uneven stuff, So I have to have my hand held or something sometimes. But I get around. But no, I have no problem in Hazel saying, well, I see something in y'all that most people don't. Well, or that she's saying that, because she thinks I'm mad because, well, my wife and I had this deal where we want both to have something, not just one. And we don't want to upset nobody in particular, but we want to both be treated fairly and equally. And it's just something that we need to explain to these people when they're coming up and just doing one or the other and not doing both. We need to let it out. Don't. And I know how my wife is. She tries to care about other people's feelings because she was raised up a certain way. And as much as I was raised up to treat people the way they want to be treated, I was also told, hey, don't let them pick on me. Don't let them treat me bad. And don't come home crying to mama if somebody treats you bad or daddy or whatever. And I didn't. I stuck in there. I didn't care what she was or what. But I wanted to kind of address everything and let people know why it is never possible to get along with every single person. And like I said, there are people that get in this religious garbage or buys into one of these so-called ads on TV, and they think that all these movements make a damn bit of difference. Yes, it might change a few people. You might say, well, I've got a couple people come up to me and say this or say that you've helped me or that you changed me. But to be honest with you, you can't change everybody. You can't get everybody to see you can't get everybody to see that because you would then have the problem. If everybody got along with everybody, you'd never have time to do anything else. It's what makes the human race and the animal race, the the dogs and the cats, and if every dog and cat liked everybody, and they didn't have you know. But I'm saying there ought to be. What I'm saying is there ought to be one person out there, female somewhere, that can say, "Hey, I like both." You don't have to claim to be bisexual. You can be a straight person and like men and women. You don't have to say, "Hey, you don't have to do what the crack horse says." No, I don't want to tell my parents I'm bisexual or whatever. Just as an example. That was told to me too, and I was like, so what? It don't bother me. My God, if you're a straight person, you could like both men and women. It doesn't matter. I mean, where does it come off as like? I mean, unless you were having sex with, you know, letting another man, do something, and then you was having sex with another woman, if you were a woman, and he's having sex with both races or something, I could then kind of see where that would be bisexual. But just because you can talk to men and women and do normal everyday things and not just having a secret sex affair or something with them, and it's just normal everyday things, I could see saying, "Hey, I don't see that. That doesn't make you bisexual just because you like both men and women. And just because women claim to like women doesn't necessarily mean they don't talk to other men either, or that they never cheat. Well, supposedly cheat on you, but I mean, sometimes a woman, like I said, sometimes a woman don't understand that people like me understand that, and they get hurt. Somebody hurts them in a past relationship, or they make a few bad choices, and they want to hold it against me or my wife. We had one up here that kind of illustrated that as such, because it's all she wanted to talk about besides her dang kids. And like I said, to a point, I can understand. But when you get me and my wife upset and you start trying to backtalk us, or you don't understand why she wants to go outside. It's something she does. I'd rather her go outside. If somebody upset her a little bit, she goes outside. Me and her sometimes have a thing in here, and she just feels like she wants to go outside for 5 minutes or 30 minutes. She'll come back. It's not like it's like earlier, She's just a little upset, and she just finally nodded off, went to sleep a little bit. She just took a nap. I kissed her on the head, told her everything's all right. It's no big deal. And you know, I just want people to understand help you can't help but notice this problem that we have. And it's not about, you know, just minors getting touched or just other things out there in the world that happen. There's also a lot of subjects not being touched on in schools and things being taught. There's math, there's science, there's social studies, there's algebra, there's this and that, and spelling, and but there's no religious classes. Uh, there's nothing to talk about other races or why these things are. Yeah, I mean, you could make a whole list of things that I've talked about in this video, and you could have these subjects. You could have a list of subjects every day to talk about. You could do math and all that stuff one day for a whole week. You could take different days and have different subjects for different days and classes. Mix and match, or different periods could be different things. But as long as we continue down the path we're going down, and I'm not talking about me or my wife, but everybody else out there that we don't know, as long as y'all don't say nothing and don't speak up and don't protest to have some of these things change in schools, then we're always going to have this problem. We're always going to have something be a problem. We're never going to correct everything, as I stated before. But to that notion that, I'm just scared or I'm just afraid to come out and talk because someone either says I don't need to talk or don't. So what? If you've been hurt, come out and say it. Just do it in a way to where you can understand we understand you, and you don't have to keep bringing it up. We could talk about anything to another woman and understand where they're coming from because we've experienced some things. And even if I've not been in the worst of things, it was a good thing. I was brought up just like my wife was at times. She had a lot of rough stuff happen to her. She's been through a lot. But she gives me the floor and the opportunity to do one thing that not even Jennifer does, not even Priscilla down here does, nobody in that damn pig does. And I know it upset her earlier, but she understands. And I know she'll go back and listen or watch this video. You should understand what I was saying. It's true. They don't want to have the time. They're offended by the way I feel when other people unknowingly just keep giving her gifts and not thinking of other people. How they would feel if they saw their kids didn't get nothing but we, or one of us got something and the other one didn't. It kind of hurts. Be honest with you. The most recent of things, some of the most recent of things, like the time we called for help out here to get this breaker turned off. They sent the whole goddamn fucking fire department out here, and this fucking woman come out here, made it all by her, damn Tiffany or whatever. My wife, it cost her a job. She's gonna go down there and work at the Boys and Girls Club thing. Cost her a job because this damn woman sitting here making excuses saying it's gonna take 2 or 3 months. I said no. You don't want to hire nobody. You play her. You played her. You didn't want her on the team. But I never ask, nor does my wife ask for undivided, unwanted attention. If you want respect, come up and say something to both. That's all you got to do. That's all anybody's got to do. And if you can do that, it would help other people out in this world. Maybe we could try to turn this thing around to where, we could at least have somewhat of a social uh, thing. That's the thing. They never do enough for people in general. Churches are about as close as you get, and they usually use this word fellowship. Where it's not just about men or about women, it's about both. But this biased thing that goes around, and the guys are supposed to be with guys, and women are supposed to just be with women, that's not the whole idea. We're supposed to be able to get around each other, and we're supposed to be able to, you know, to a degree, get what we want and be able to treat others in a respectful way, in a respectful manner. And like I said, everybody doesn't get everything they want. I don't get everything I want. My wife doesn't certainly get everything she wants. There are times that things come up, things happen, and we have to either replan something. Just like I said, me and my wife is probably always going to have the realization set in that nobody is ever going to be able to be trusted to the extent that me and my wife trust each other. She, at this point, can't say that there's anybody out there, and I can't say that there's anybody out there that can watch this whole video and understand what we're trying to say. And I understand what she was saying earlier too. But there's not a jealous bone in my body. It's the way they go about it. It's the way that they don't make anything more of it. Just think how much more happier, not only that I would be for my wife, but if these people actually took out the time to just call, text, um, take us out to eat once in a while, do something. Maybe then we could get, the ideal across and what we're trying to get out here. I don't know that anybody's ever out here on YouTube from Decatur, Tennessee. 37322 being the zip code. But, you know, I've give out our numbers on here. I've put it out on videos. I have done everything except, like I said earlier, what does somebody have to do out here? Go and strip? Go out here and streaking? Like old Reese Stevens said in his song? What's the fella got to do? Go to a fucking bar, club, place where I'm never at? What do we got to do? Go to a nudist camp somewhere just to get somebody's fucking attention? Because it ain't doing any good going out here to your local community. It ain't doing no good to do these things. They're just doing it. And like I said, they're doing these things because they know that it bothers her inside. They know it bothers me for sure. and they don't like it when I go out there and I talk bad about it. Well, when they don't come up to me or say nothing, and they don't come up to both of us and say something in an equal manner, I would be more supportive of people with whatever they had going on. If they just treat me and my wife like a couple instead of a fucking, like we're just a friend to each other or something, just like we're just a lowercase, you know, just like I'm gonna get rid of her in 2 or 3 days, or this thing's just one of these temporary things. It's what they think. It's not what I think, it's what I know is going on. And it's because they either have some social problem or issue that they just, you know, and they're these just biased people. You can't be happy for one or the other. Nobody cares about someone else's sister having a fucking kid. Nobody cares. Good for you. You got a sister that you are happy for. Good for you. If you're out there, but don't throw it out on goddamn social media and have everybody in the, knowing about your damn sister's personal business. You know, it's another problem. Everybody thinks that they got to put that stuff out on social media. And everybody's supposed to be, they want everybody to be happy for them. But just because they seem happier, because they leave a nice thought, doesn't mean that that's how they always feel. They might be doing that to just play you like a fiddle on how they know that that's what you want. But at no time is that necessarily to say that's how they truly feel. You don't know what somebody could say behind the scenes. Hell, if I didn't know myself as good as I know myself, or I know my wife, you know, I would be saying the same thing if I didn't know myself how I would feel, and how if something legitimate came along and didn't just throw everything on us in a bad way, and they knew how to be, we could do this. We could turn this whole thing around that happened to us yesterday, and we could turn that sucker around and make it, you know, happen for me and my wife. We could do this. But as long as, and it won't happen anymore, trust me, it's not going to happen again. Because, you know, there's not going to be no violence going down. Ain't going to be no nothing. There's going to be straight up, whether I'm with my wife or whether we're together out. Sometimes she'll do an errand. Like I said, she'll just go and pay on my bill. That's the only time she's never, or she goes on one of her miniature walks. Like she said the other day in a video, she don't even go up to the church and walk around anymore. If she goes on a walk, she goes for a little bit longer walk. It helps her anyway. She gets out there and does, get to go on a longer walk, instead of these same 2 or 3 houses seeing her. She goes out there to not to get attention, but it does help. I mean, the scenery, and there could be something. You never know when you go past one of these houses. There could be somebody out there just as long as me and her is. It just ain't been down the right roads. We just ain't been down the. She just hadn't tried any of these other places out. Sometimes you be surprised what might be out here on one of these roads. You'll be surprised at who listens to this video. I'm gonna turn on me some heat. Hang on just a minute. She's probably getting cold. Sometimes it stays on, sometimes it won't. It just depends. But No, I mean, it's a night and day difference when me and her's out, without all this extra thing. It's just bad timing. Like I said, she was wondering yesterday, she's like, Derek, when are they coming? And I said, honey, they'll be here at any time. I said, because I told them I didn't give them a certain time because I was like, I told Mary, I said, just fit us in whenever, it ain't no big deal, you know what I mean? And of course, my wife made a point. Well, you could have told them 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or something. Well, it was already 12 or 12:30, and they called me about that. They called me somewhere between 12 and 12:30. But if I'd have gave them a time, they probably wouldn't have been here then. They might have. They might have been here a little earlier. They might have been here later. It just depends on how their schedule is. And since this wasn't really a big deal, and I knew they would get to us. I mean, used to when Mary was first there, you'd tell her something, and she usually just didn't write it down or didn't want to write it down or whatever it was, back in the day. But she's done so much better, and they've done so much better and I can tell most of these drivers like driving for Setter. There's no, you can talk to them on the bus, you can make conversation. Such you have to still kind of wear a mask, not stuff on there. But I seen the guy that was taking his yesterday. I don't know if he just I don't know if Mary didn't know that he. Of course, they have cameras on the bus. I didn't say nothing because I'm not that type of person. But just for sake of this video, he wasn't wearing his, you know. But I'm just not that kind of person. But I didn't want me or my wife get in trouble for Mary calling or that they were watching the video with the thing. Well, yeah, they ain't wearing their mask. Well, I'd say, well, he ain't either. I'd have to then. But I mean, I try not to meddle in other people's business if I don't necessarily need to. I mean, like I said, we'd love to be able to uh, find something nice for both, and but it's just I don't think it's possible in this day and time that we live in. But there might be occasionally something. I mean, I come down the road. We did, however, check up here at these apartments, but my wife couldn't get nobody to come up. And I told her as after what I saw yesterday, I'm afraid a lot of these people would just come up here and come to the door every time I turn around. And at least where we live out here, we can do something. You know, we've got a thing to ourselves and whatnot. I just need to get some more. I forgot because we had so much of this bullshit happening yesterday, and mine was just not. I was going to try to ask them about some more boxes. Since we were already down there, to see if they had any more. We're just trying to pack some stuff up. I just hadn't got more boxes. We've got some that we had. We even had a guy come out here, but she's got quite a bit that she'd have to kind of pack it up and make it look nice and put it up. We could get there, and that's what we're trying to do. But it's going to take a little bit. But we'll get there. But if these people would just leave me and my wife the fuck alone, we could enjoy our time. And I'm not talking about the person that's going to be with us, but just the general public, gossipers and all the little trolls around, that me or my wife didn't real nothing to do with. I mean, So anyway, I just thought I'd kind of come out here, put a video on my wife. She went back to sleep, so I may just go back and watch this video, put some things out, add on the comments board while I'm listening to it. Bless her little heart, you know. I'd gotten up to go to the bathroom earlier, and that's why I was up early. And she got up too, because I got up, and she's wondering if I was okay, that sort of thing. But yeah, just man, it's sad. Like I said, I kind of wanted to tear up earlier. It's just so sad. I mean, think how the stuff is and how the world is. It's just sad. I mean, and to be honest with you, I'd much rather get no attention than to get somebody that's being negative or trying to hurt one or the other's feelings. You know, some people might say, "Why should they care?" Well, we do care. Me and her both cares. You know, we don't let you all know out in front of public because y'all might pull one of these stunts out there, and then but we're going to start, trying to, do it together. And even when I'm not there, I hope she just turns them away. Especially if she knows it's the same people. And if they were to ask the question, I hope she gives them a straight up answer. She don't care how she hurts their feelings. Because, we don't need these kind of people. She'll want to go back and watch this video to see what all I said, and probably, she'll understand. You can't care about other people if they don't really have it in their heart to care about what you got going on and everything in it. You can't just do one this way and another the other way. But anyway, I'll probably get off here and go watch my video back and have a good time. Oh, hey, honey. Why, baby? Let's go bathroom? Bless her heart. Yeah. Well, I care because I ain't like these other butthurt people. I ain't like them choosing one over the other. I want something for me and my wife. I don't want this biased bullshit. That's why I've been on here. So these people know they're not going to get one without the other. That's what the whole point of my video is. This shit has got to fucking stop. One way or the other. My wife wants to cater to these 2 or 3 butthurt people, but it's just making them want to do it more. We're never going to get our unicorn bestie as long as my wife has anything to fool around with these fucking idiots. She has to realize that's her own fault. That's her own problem if she continues to let them come up to her and do this. We're never going to get anywhere. I'm not doing it. I could walk around there butt naked and nobody'd would ever talk to me. And just as an example, I'm not going to do it, man. I'm not going to sit out here and make this all about one thing or another. They ought to treat a couple the same way that they treat everybody else in their goddamn family. I know if one or the other was getting more attention than the other, they'd all be grabbing and pulling each other's hair out of their head. I do care, honey. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here, baby.
Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about me, okay?
Sweetie.
Nobody cares about me.
Come here. Come here. Baby. Come here, honey. Slowly. Come here. Baby, come on. Come over here and let me rub your head. I'll rub your head. Come on over here with me. Come on. Come on. Come on over here and sit down. Come on over here. You get bless your little heart. I mean, I know she understands what I'm saying. Hey, you know, like I said, I need to rub her head a little bit. They do that stuff because they know that she'll give them that attention. But we got to stop it. So they'll stop if we stop, or if she stops. So they ain't doing it to me. But, and that's that's the whole thing. If we, excuse me, if we ever intend on ever getting anything to treat us right and find that one lucky person, if it's out there, it's what we got to do. We got to quit caring about whose feelings we hurt, you know, because they're not. These people do not, and she's right. She just said it. I didn't say nothing to her. She said it. She's like nobody cares about her. Well, I do, and that goes a long way, baby, sweetheart. But you know, it hurts to have to come out on here and have to put it out. But everybody needs to know how it feels to us, and we're not out here to entertain everybody else's stuff. I'm not out here to self promote anything or my wife. If you don't like both and you don't like either one, we gotta stop this prejudice stuff. We gotta put a stop to it because it's not gonna get us anywhere. You know, nobody does it to me because I'm just some ugly guy out there that they think I'm ugly. They think, you know, they don't have anything to you know, I don't have anything they're interested in, I guess, or whatever it is. I don't know. But we need to find that one person and stick with it. If we get rid of all this stuff. I remember when I lost my job about a year ago. I remember, you know, when I quit it, this damn person, you know, and I was in a bad mood. Like I said, I did this person the same way as I did the other because I was in a bad mood. I don't want to lash out and do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to lash out in the heat of the moment and make other people say, "Oh yeah, that's what. Wonder why." Yeah. So I try to be quiet and I try to just, you know, talk about certain things in a certain light. You know, when I'm ready to. If I do it in the heat of the moment, you're really gonna get what you see, and you're not gonna like it even more. If you just give me some time, like my wife does, sometimes she'll have to go outside, or like I'm doing this right here, and you know, she knows I care. She just, you know, like I said, she in the heat of the moment, you know, she knows I'm convicting all the people out here with this video. I'm trying to do a good service by doing this. And I don't know whether me and her would ever get what we were hoping for, but that's up to that person. You know, if that person's out there, of course we invite you. We've put our numbers out here. We've put out our all of our stuff that you can put out here, besides our IDs and social security cards, which we're not going to do that. But God have mercy, you know, they ain't one thing. I said, other than praying, and like I prayed for her, other than praying down on my knees and doing things of that nature, that's about the only thing I ain't really done a whole lot, you know. But I did it one time when I was going to church at one time for that couple of years. And just started. I prayed about it at home, and I talked about it at home, and said the name Jessica, and I didn't know what it even meant. You know what I mean? And she told me what her name's supposed to mean, and I told her I don't even remember what mine even means anymore. I used to know. My mom used to tell me, Darren, what mine and his name meant, but I can't remember. It's been so long ago. But I do care how fast she feels, you know. I'm just trying to tell her we shouldn't give all these people attention that's just out here wanting to do something to one, not the other. Well, just go out there and do us. And if that one does come up and talks to us and puts the effort in, if it's that Jennifer or somebody like she said, she want to talk to them about it. Well, if they want to make an offer or something towards us, and they want to take, it wouldn't take 5 or 10 minutes out. My wife knows you can get a lot out in 5 or 10 minutes. It's just these people, all they want to do is say hi, something like that. That doesn't move me. That doesn't tell me nothing. You know, it just tells me that that's just something simple that somebody would say or do, just trying to be nice, trying to, you know, and in some cases give off a false impression. You know, it might just be, you never know how somebody is till you take somebody home with you, until you really get to feel how they are, or go to their place, and that whatever has to be done. But that's why me and her just, we've been doing our own stuff and our own thing. Makes it hard, sweetie. Did you want to say a couple of words?
I hate everybody.
Oh, sweetheart. Yeah, I do too. I don't. I don't like these people I see out here, especially. Sweetie. See, a rubber head like this. Yeah, she likes. Yeah.
Nobody cares about me, honey.
Well, I
I'm
don't.
a piece of crap to everybody.
Well, like I said, I don't want to take it while she's sitting here. I want to make sure she hears me say it. I'm not taking Hazel the wrong way when I say this, but she only gives us a ride there and back. It's not like we go to the house and do anything. It's not like we do anything outside of that. I know her limitations, as I said earlier. So I know I can't ask for anything above this. I didn't have much choice yesterday, so she's nice enough to do that. So I did what I had to do. But there, is somebody said, "Well, I can talk to both." Well, yeah, because you're a lot older and wiser, and you probably don't want to come off as these other people do. I can say that, but as long as the people keep buying into these people, and you don't ever have, like I told, let's say it on her, they never have anything to do with my wife other than when they see her carrying around one of them freaking dolls. I told on her earlier, I may try that one of these days. I may do it next week. Who knows? I just want to see for the hell of it if anybody says anything or if it's negative, positive, or what. I don't know. I just, because like I said, me and her get more enjoyment out of these dolls at home and dressing them and doing things with them because they're not like you guys getting your butt hurt all the time. They're not, uh, they're not, getting their butt hurt over religious stuff or racial things or fucking presidential shit, political BS that's out there on the news that they, like I said earlier. But I just wanted to let my wife hear me say some of these things that I said because it really does bother me that you can actually talk to a doll or a stuffed animal better than you can to an actual real person just because they can't see some way to come up to a married couple of both and talk to both. Yeah, she's right. I have a guy or something ask me a question or a woman ask me a question. If they'll look at me in the face and they'll make eye contact instead of looking down at the floor, looking down at their phone, worrying about their fucking family and what they think. Well, what if I bring these two home and I really want to bring them home you would don't tell them. Don't tell them. That's what me and my wife said. Don't tell them. But like I said, that person has to understand why we feel that way. You can't just go around telling them just because you're excited about something doesn't mean you go blab it out to the whole world. Now, if we don't ask you and we don't come up to you wondering about who's, just like I told Chastity, or not Chastity, but Stacy. Stacy, I don't know, the last time I seen her and had a real good deep conversation with her, and I had this conversation with her because it bothered me. I said, and I told her, I said, I'm not trying to be mean because her man was sitting there and he was kind of hearing what was being said. He wasn't mean about it, but he was wondering what was going on, and what I was talking about because he'd forgot that we went on that, thing at the park and whatever. Or supposedly he forgot. I don't know if he did or didn't, but anyway, this is what he said. But anyway, so she's explaining it, and I was just basically telling her the same thing as I'm telling my wife. Now, we're going to have to change it up. We're going to have to quit taking these little bitty things and trying to make chicken shit out of chicken salad. It's going to have to be right all the way through because there ain't but one offer on the table. We're not promoting anything else. We're not going to be having 100 people calling and texting their phones. If somebody out there wants what we're offering, then it's the unicorn bestie offer. If you're out there, well, then I don't care where you're at. But we don't. The only thing we're saying, if you come out here and you're out on here and you see us on this video thing, or if you was to listen to the video, we do not pay for your gas to come up here. We're not like these people paying. They don't find anything wrong with these people off the internet that we've seen don't have any problem asking for strangers to pay for certain things, and you're never there to see if they actually are doing the things they say they are. I mean, that's the thing. They don't understand that we're out of that little bit of money that we could go buy stuff with, pay something with, or whatever. I mean, if you come and you feel led and you're that one that we're talking to and that we're talking about, and I don't care what your name is, but if you're out there, lady, and you're that person that runs across it and you like what you hear, what you see, well, then we'd be more than willing to see you. But like I said, we're gonna cut all these people out that are doing this stuff because it upsets my wife and it's upsetting me, and I don't want to see us upset no more. Anything you want to say? Okay, I'm just making sure my baby don't want to say nothing.
Everybody, I don't want to talk.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I try to give her an equal opportunity because I don't, I don't want to be mean. Cause we share.
I hate it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, like I said, we're gonna have to cut out, either one of us. If we know it's one of these little deals where they're just trying to get attention, we need to cut them down, chop them down. Don't worry about how they feel or how they come out and feel. Of course, they ain't gonna like it. That we need to find that person. We need to go out there and be. We don't have to force it. I mean, we just need to wait, bide our time. We know it's out there somewhere. We just need to not do anything else with anything else. I mean, if they got a couple things, like I've said earlier, if they got a couple things in their package and it's some family or a couple of friends, fair can wait and meet them when it's time. We don't have to rush that. We need to get to know each other inside and out first, and then take things accordingly that way, and let us see what happens there. No need to rush other people on us. But anyway, if she's not going to say anything, and I'm sure she said she's not. So, all right. Well, I'll just go ahead and in this video, we'll go back and listen to it and watch it. We might make another one later.